people, welcome to the channel. This is the self-proclaimed Blue Dragon, and it's time for the monthly Q&A. This is March's Q&A. I have a variety of questions, most of which are not related to Dark Horse, but we'll start with the Dark Horse question and then move into the random questions. So the first one I got, well, not the first one I'm going to read. What are they doing to Kaisuma's back? This one I got from a reader over on Tapas, and I'll show the page here that is being referenced. And it's hard to see, especially in this one. In the older version, it was a little clearer, but I had changed things a little bit, so maybe when I go back and edit these pages, I'll make it clearer. But the doctor is stitching up her back. So, she's supposed to have, like, some hemostats and a needle with thread, but because we're going to later on go into the night that this whole event happened, when Odysseus escaped, and she's talking about how Oshin was in the room, and we'll go into that a lot later, just so we can find out what happened, but I should have at least made it clearer. It used to be clear, but when I go back to edit, I'll make it a little more evident that she's having her back stitched up. Okay, so the next question is regarding the Comic Theory Zine, because the submissions for that are starting April 1st. Wow. It's coming up here, you guys. This question is, how do you pick the theme for the Comic Theory Zine? Usually it's just, I will brainstorm something that I think is cast a wide enough net that I think people will be interested in submitting with that theme. One time I got an email from someone who I presume is in the community, but it was their personal email, but they suggested doing like the campfire stories one, the scary story one. So that's where we got the 2021 fall zine theme was from the community. If somebody suggests something and I think it's something that will garner enough interest, we'll do it. But most of the time I just I brainstormed the end dreams. I can't remember what was going on at the time, but I thought, wow, that would be a really cool kind of psychedelic. I mean, I'm sure, I don't know what kind of submissions we're going to get, but I was like, that could come up with some really cool comics. And there's so much variety, there's so many things you can do in dreams that it would give people the freedom to, do a lot of different things, I felt. So that's where we get the themes from, and if you're part of Comic Theory and you've got a suggestion, you can always feel free to send me an email or a personal message, and we'll think about the theme, and maybe if we ever get enough, theme suggestions, we could even, hold a poll and see what the community wants to do, but it's not really come to that yet, so. Next question is more of a personal question because I talk about magical girls sometimes. This is technically a post-apocalyptic fantasy magical girl story. Dark Horses is what I'm talking about. Oh, by the way, the links are down in the description. It'll always be free to read. But yeah, the next one is, how do you feel about the new Sailor Moon? And by new, they're referencing Sailor Moon Crystal. And I have a lot of thoughts about it. I'm not sure how much I want to talk about it in this video, but okay, so I loved the manga. Let me preface this, and I know that the series follows the manga more closely than the episodic. Well, I mean, it had a story, back in the 90s, but it definitely had a lot of filler. But I personally, this isn't just my nostalgia, rose-colored glasses. I really feel, while some of the voices could be annoying, and definitely the editing was annoying for the American version, I do kind of prefer the 90s version of Sailor Moon, the anime, because Crystal, I think, was so fixated on keeping everything pretty that they really lost a lot of the emotion, and they sped through, like with the TV series back in the 90s, because there was so much filler, you actually got to know the characters And it's not that you don't really get to know the characters in Crystal, it's just that everything is rushed along so fast that I really don't feel like any of the sadness, any of the crying parts, I didn't feel anything, you know, it didn't feel earned, I guess. Kind of how I felt about the first part of the Kevin Smith Masters of the Universe, which I'm not going to get into. I haven't watched the second part, but I feel like they did a whole lot of build-up, and when characters start getting offed, it's like, I don't feel like this was earned. I feel nothing because none of these characters, I didn't connect with them. Not that the old He-Man would have, you know, the old He-Man was silly, so it's not, the animation was great on that, but I just wasn't feeling the show. It kind of irritated me. I kind of felt like I wasted my time. I like the She-Ra. I feel like the She-Ra, you spend enough time with everyone that, you know, you cared about people. But anyway, I'm digressing. I'm talking about Sailor Moon Crystal. Yeah, the early, when it first came out, I was watching it on Crunchyroll, and you could see where they also didn't give the animators time to properly do the animation. So a lot of it could be kind of uncanny valley, just very poorly drawn, and I don't blame the animators for that. I blame whichever company, I can't remember which company did the animation. They didn't, I mean, this was such a big deal. It was fucking Sailor Moon, and they were rushing production. It's like, you've had so much time to plan for this. Why are you not giving these people any, I mean, I'm sure they had like a lot of other projects maybe that they were working on, and that's why it was rushed. It just felt really stupid. If it's gonna be like an anniversary thing, give it the time and space that it needs. And I even watched like the Sailor Moon movie on Netflix, and I don't know, I would rather watch Sailor Moon R or Sailor Moon S, any of the movies. Hearts on Ice, I think, was one of them. I can't remember what the other one with the alien, well, I guess they're all aliens, but the one that, I think it was Sailor Moon R, that kind of focused on Endymion's childhood and the aliens and stuff like that. But anyway, that's my thoughts on it. Wow. I feel like it had a lot of potential, and I feel that it wasn't given enough room to breathe or enough time to be animated well. Now, they did go back and fix a lot of the problems, but it just didn't feel, it felt cheap to me, and I don't blame the animators. I blame whoever planned the whole thing. I don't blame Naoko Takeuchi either. I'm sure, I mean, whenever they went back and redid the books with her, she did some of the art. I bought a lot of the, one of the new series, and they fixed a lot of the old art, and I could sit there and compare and contrast, and you could see that she put the effort into fixing, you know, a lot of the things. They also updated like the technology, which was weird, like, because already the technology update from the disc, from like the floppy disk to the CD-ROM disc, it's already like obsolete. So I don't know why they even bothered with updating the technology in the manga. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, those are my thoughts. That was an interesting question. I know it's kind of been like a hot topic of debate a couple years back when everything was airing, but yeah, I just think it was squandered potential, I guess is how I'm gonna sum it up. I still watched it, it just, I want to go back and watch the old one, even if it was silly. Sometimes silly can be fun. It doesn't have to be literally every single moment is beautiful, pretty girl. You know, I don't think that was the point. Because even Naoko Takeuchi would sometimes have Usagi's face scrunched up or looking goofy as shit. So it's like, even in the manga, they didn't insist on having her always be beautiful. So, I don't know. Anyway, okay, let's move along. I could talk all day about Sailor Moon. The last question, this is going to be kind of a short video, and that's fine. I didn't get too many questions this time, and I'm fine with that because I've been kind of busy anyway. But the last question, this is not how they put it. Are you ever going to replace that squeaky ass chair? Yes. Yes. Eventually, we're starting to budget for it. I have some money in my Patreon that I transferred but then I ended up spending it on an Indiegogo comic project that I want. Oi! Tales of Bardic Fury. You can go down and check out that comic on Tapas. I'll put the Indiegogo link down there too. It's really cool. It's a comic that I've been following for years, like since at least 2015. He didn't start posting on Tapas until 2015. I started reading Oi back when he was hosting on Comic Fury. But when he moved over to Tapas, I was like, yeah, I still love this shit. I liked the Kitty Jenkins comic he had up. It was really fucking silly and psychedelic and weird as shit. But yeah, he's been going full on with this Oi, and I haven't really been reading it because I don't have any time, but I think if I get... What I want is I'm ordering the hard copy ones. Wait, I was talking about my chair. Oh shit. Well, I'm gonna finish my train of thought. But yeah, I think it was like $60 that I plopped down because I want all 3 of the books. Because I prefer reading hard copy books, and I'm not gonna be able to find that in a library. And I haven't been going to the library because I'm not ready to yet. I mean, I will be eventually, but I'm just not ready to go out into the public like that. But yeah, okay, so anyway, the point of that was I was saving my Patreon money for a new desk chair that's not squeaky. I was gonna keep my old chair and just use it at the drawing desk and get a new chair for the computer where I record, and instead I spent it on an independent artist, which I think that was a good investment of my money, was support. Take my money, my support, and support other artists with it. It's that same $5 that gets passed around in the art community. I'm just kidding. I am super looking forward to this comic though, y'all. Because it's like, it takes place in Ireland. Oh my god, there's Selkie. I thought there was a Selkie. The one chick is kind of like a mermaid chick thing. It's just really fucking cool, and it's Celtic, so y'all know it's right up my alley. I think the artist is like from Cali. I think he's from California, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, he seems really fucking cool. He showed pictures of like his Indiegogo thing on like the comic when I went into... I wasn't going in to read it because I haven't had time, but I was like, what the hell's going on? And yeah, he just had pictures of what the comics are gonna look like. I was like, holy shit, I need that. I want that. So yeah, a new chair that is less squeaky is coming. I'm trying to not squeak my chair as much when I record. I'm trying not to move as much. So sorry about that, y'all, but it's gonna have to wait. I'm going to my parents', or by the time this comes out, I'm at my parents'. I'll probably be coming back from my parents'. But I just haven't had time to do all the things I need to do, and the chair is kind of low priority for me, even though it shouldn't be. So I'm sorry. You'll have to deal with the squeaky chair a little longer. Usually I'm able to get the sound out of the videos, though. My sound's better than it was back in the day. Anyway, that's all the questions I have. Sounds good to me. Hope y'all enjoyed it. If you have any questions, you can always send them to me, cerulean.graphics@gmail.com. Patrons get first dibs at the questions. I think it's the $5 level. $3? $5? It's the third tier that gets the questions first. Always give them priority, but if you got any questions, you can send them to me. You can put them in the comments. Anyway, I'm out. Love y'all. Peace and love. Fare you well. And keep on trucking.